Long ago, in a quiet valley surrounded by mountains and forests, there lived a hunter named William and his young daughter Mary. Mary's mother had died when she was still a baby, so William alone raised her with discipline, courage, and love. From the time she was 7, Mary followed her father into the woods. She learned how to track animals, wield a bow, and defend herself against danger. By the age of 18, she was no ordinary village girl. She had grown into a fearless young warrior, graceful yet powerful, sharp in mind and strong in body. But fate had a cruel plan for their land. A monstrous demon, a hideous creature that lurked in the dark forests, began to terrorize the kingdom. Unlike other beasts, it did not prey on livestock or crops. Instead, it devoured human flesh. Old or young, strong or weak, no one was safe. Fear spread across villages like a plague, and despair weighed heavily upon the people. The king, desperate to save his kingdom, proclaimed a great reward. Whoever could slay the demon would be granted riches, honor, and a place forever remembered in history. Warriors, mercenaries, and adventurers tried their luck, yet one by one they fell. It was then that William and Mary were summoned. The royal guards came to their home, pleading for them to rise against the evil. William, though aged, could not ignore his duty. Mary, with fire in her heart, stood by her father's side. Together, they vowed to rid the land of this terror. Before their departure, an old matchmaker, a kind woman who loved Mary dearly, gifted her a gown of golden silk. It shimmered like sunlight and carried the fragrance of herbs. "Wear this when you return," the woman said, "so the villagers may know from afar that their protectors have triumphed." Mary smiled and promised she would. For weeks, William and Mary trekked across rivers, over mountains, into the darkest parts of the forest where no bird dared to sing. At last, they confronted the demon. The battle shook the ground. William fought with all the skill of a lifetime, but his age betrayed him. The demon struck him down and devoured him before Mary's horrified eyes. Her heart was shattered, but her will hardened. She swore to avenge her father. Day after day, she hunted the demon, clashing with it again and again. Yet no matter how bravely she fought, the creature's strength was overwhelming. She realized that sheer skill and courage were not enough. Then Mary made a fateful decision. She would sacrifice herself. She gathered rare herbs and poisonous plants from deep in the forest, grinding them into a deadly elixir. She soaked the golden gown with the potion until it carried both a sweet fragrance and a fatal curse. Then, with her letters of farewell written, one to the villagers, thanking them and saying goodbye, another to the king, reporting that the monster would soon fall, she prepared for her final act. At dawn, Mary put on the golden gown. She faced the rising sun, knelt upon the earth, and bowed 3 times, one for her father, one for her people, and one for the kingdom she would never see again. Then, calm and resolute, she walked into the forest, deeper and deeper, until she found a place of silence where even the wind seemed to hold its breath. The demon, lured by the strange, enticing fragrance of the gown, appeared. It saw Mary sitting still, unarmed, offering no resistance. Thinking her broken by fear, it lunged upon her and devoured her whole. Days passed. On the 3rd day, the villagers heard a terrible roar echo through the valley. The demon staggered out of the forest, its skin blackened, its veins bursting with poison. It collapsed, bleeding foul black blood, its body decaying into rot. At last, the terror was gone. But Mary was gone as well. Her body was never found. All that remained was the memory of her courage and the sorrow of her sacrifice. The king, moved to tears by her loyalty and her father's bravery, ordered a shrine built at the edge of the forest. There, the villagers came to light incense and pray, their hearts full of gratitude. Seasons changed, years went by. Then, one winter, as the old year ended, something miraculous happened. By the shrine where Mary and William were honored, a small tree sprouted. Its blossoms were unlike any other, bright yellow, golden as sunlight, and they bloomed not for a single day, but for 9 days during the new year. The villagers believed it was Mary herself, reborn to bring joy instead of sorrow. light instead of darkness. They called it the golden blossom tree, and from that day on, branches of its flowers were taken into homes during the new year. They believed the blossoms warded off evil, brought blessings, and reminded every family of Mary and William, two souls who gave everything for the safety of others. Even now, in the passing of centuries, when people decorate their homes with golden flowers at the dawn of spring, they are not just celebrating beauty or luck. They are remembering courage, sacrifice, and the eternal truth that love and duty are stronger than fear. That is the legend of the golden blossom, a story of a daughter's devotion, a father's bravery, and a sacrifice so great that it turned into eternal spring. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more mysterious, touching, and legendary tales, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to True Ghost Encounters. Your support keeps these timeless stories alive.